Alrighty, how you doing? Finndawgy coming in with a little update. So as you can see, the tray has taken a back step. There's some major updates that I've got for you guys. So as always, we have Buddy yapping in the background trying to get me to throw a stick. But I've sold the COURIER. The COURIER is no more. I sold it to a young fella, which I don't know how young he was. He was, I don't know, mid-20s maybe. But anyway, sold the ute so that I could do this next project. Basically, a ute came up that I've been chasing for a long time. For this only for this. I've always wanted this specific engine. I've been chasing it for a long time. I've been inspired ever since I've seen all the Thai longboats and stuff like that, or in Thailand, this engine, internationally, this engine is a big fucking deal, pretty big fucking deal. A lot of you will know what you're looking at, some of you won't. For those that don't, this is a 4JJ1. Came out in about 2007, late 2007, early 2008, in Holden Rodeos firstly, and then Holden Colorados, the Isuzu D-Max. It's made by Isuzu, so Isuzu manufactured the engine. Most of them were made in Thailand. I know a couple were made in Japan. Don't know about any other countries that produce them, but this one here was made in Thailand in 2008, and it goes on that lovely bit of plywood. So underneath that is a mystery. Anyway, I'm sure you guys can guess what it might be, but it's a whole nother revival series. So this ute that I have was owned by a mining company from the day it was bought, so early 2008, up until the car had 160,000 Ks. And then after that, the ute was purchased by what I can assume is a tradie. Tradie drove it until I bought it, and I bought it relatively cheap, so I paid $6,000 for the car. It has 300,000 Ks on it. 5-speed turbo diesel 4JJ1. This is the engine out of that ute. The last few weeks I've been pulling it out. Slowly but surely. It's nothing like the WLT. It's a lot harder to access and take out. For example, I got the cold side off, and then I went to go get the hot side off, and then it's got this EGR cooler on the top, and this 12mm here is tight, like the firewall is like this. So you don't actually have room to get anything on that, to remove that. Then it's also got, let me get some light. Sorry, one sec. When you remember you're filming with a phone, so it has light. If you can see through here, through there, that is the bottom of the EGR cooler. Though to access that, you can see where that is. To get that off is a pain. I couldn't figure out how to get it off. I tried to, because you can see it's just a soft hose. Just a soft hose coming up through there. So I tried to get the hose off, but I couldn't even get the hose off. I couldn't even get this hose off. A lot of hoses, bolts, all sorts of stuff on this ute was ridiculously hard to get off. Like the flywheel bolts, to get the flywheel off. So I have a massive DeWalt impact driver. I can't remember how many Newton meters it takes off, but I'm pretty sure it's like 900 or 1300. This could not get those back bolts off on most powerful mode. So I'd use a breaker bar, sorry for the footage, a breaker bar with a massive amount of leverage to get the flywheel to stay in place. And you see all these people say, oh, you got to make a bracket, you got to do brackets. What I actually thought, which I thought was relatively smart, was I just used a chain. So I put one chain link through this noggin here, bolted through, and then the other chain link onto one of the bolts that mounts the pressure plate for the clutch on. And then as you twist it, the chain hits full tension, and then boom, bam, alakazam. So you might be wondering, why have I got this engine sitting on a stand. Why did I bother taking it off the ute? And you may be thinking, why bother? I'm rebuilding it. Everything. Same as the WLT. 300,000 Ks. The engine is fine. There's nothing at all wrong with it. It doesn't even have a head gasket leak or anything like that. Like, the engine is fine. It's getting good compression. There's actually absolutely nothing wrong with it at all. Even the turbo's good. There's no wobble in the wheel. It's looks relatively fine. Like, you can see it's an older wheel, but I see very, very little wear on the wheel. It's on the compressor wheel, so it's pretty good. The exhaust. So to get that off, I just dropped it just after the cat. I've got a full stainless steel exhaust over there waiting to go on. We've got all new ball joints to go on this ute. We've got all new brakes, rotors, everything. Whole new drum rebuild is already here. I've got a new starter motor, new water pump, all the gaskets to rebuild everything. Timing chain kit, everything is here pretty well. This is all like your bearings and stuff. New head bolts, new head. The new head is from Mason Auto Parts. They're manufactured overseas, so I'm assuming China or something like that. But they actually machine them here. Yes, my dog. If you hear panting in the background, could be me, could be my dog. You have to guess. But yeah, it's all manufactured overseas, brought to Australia, and they machine the head. They fit all the valves and stuff over here, so that's an assembled head. I've got to pull my cams off this old head, chuck them on. I'm thinking about getting some other bits and bobs to make it all nice. When I have the block done, so the block fully stripped, which actually, there's not actually a ton of stuff on the side. So what I'll do is I'll pull everything off, get this stripped. Then I'll be looking at getting the engine. So I'll strip all the external stuff. Then I'll strip the internals, get the crank out, get all that out, get it back to a bare block, and then I'll get the head machined. The block machined. So I'll get it honed, machined, cleaned, maybe magnet tested. I don't think it's necessary, considering this was a perfectly fine engine. Once more, there was absolutely nothing wrong with this engine. And then I've got the full rebuild kit, new pistons. I'm assuming I'm keeping the old conrods. We'll see how that goes. If they are buggered, I'll put forged rods in. If I do that, I'm going to put forged pistons in. If I do that, I'm probably going to upgrade the crank. This could very quickly snowball. At the moment, I'm looking at a reliable daily, but if there is anything internally wrong with it, it's very quickly going to turn into a built engine. So these engines are really, really good. Good up to 200-ish horsepower, 170 kilowatt on a stock setup, stock everything else with a remap. You'll get about 160, 170 kilowatt out of them. The problem is they snap the crank. These are very prone to snapping cranks, and that's more to do with the crank heads that are driving them, because people, to have a ute that's so punchy, so responsive, people end up driving them like they're driving an SV6 or something, or a Falcon. They end up absolutely hammering them, putting them under hectic shock loads, doing massive skids, stuff like that. So obviously, everything has a weak point when you drive, especially the little 4-cylinder straightforward diesel. You're going to find the weak point, and you're going to find it pretty quick. So if it comes to that, I have found a performance crank. It's $2,000, and I'm already pretty deep into this. So at the moment, I'm already about $4,500 into the rebuild. That's just parts. It's just straight up all parts. I haven't got a clutch yet. I'm going to replace this clutch. Probably going to replace the flywheel. There's all the stock stuff that's come off it that I'm reusing. So, alternator, which I'm actually thinking about replacing. Alternator, I've cleaned out and removed the vanes. Sorry. So I've removed the vane, what are they? Those little flippy flappies. So here you can see I've removed all these there's like little flaps on these intakes that are driven by this vacuum actuator. I've removed them off this because they're prone to snapping, going in fucking valves, fucking the intake. I've also cleaned out this thing pretty bad because it's had an EGR. I'll show you what I mean. So this is the stock. On the intake, you see how they got these little flaps? And that's about how dirty this other head was too. So yeah, got rid of them completely. It's going to be cheering. I haven't forgotten about the tray. The tray was actually awesome timing. This ute popped up, and then I thought, oh, great. I haven't made the mounts yet. So I've got all the steel underneath the tray here. That's all the steel to go onto the new... Sorry, all the steel to finish the tray. The tray is going to come. I've just had to put that on the back burner because this is more important right now. So I'm going to build this engine, fully finish it. Then I'm going to finish restoring the ute. Getting that all nice. It's a mystery at the moment. But yeah, I sold the old tray off it. So it's ready to go with the new tray. Obviously, I'm going to fix this up a bit. Clean all these up. So clean all this up. You know, rust treat it. Get it all good. As I said, stainless steel exhaust coming in there. We'll be laughing. I'm probably going to replace this because it has a bit of underneath here. Some water ingress has led to some rust underneath this, which has resulted in the tow bar essentially being useless. Doesn't matter. I mean, it's not useless. It's probably still very usable. I'm just anal. So we're going to fix that up. Yeah, so this is just a preliminary, fuck me. This is just an early video, preamble, ramble about how I'm going to get this all looking good. This engine is going to be minto. So I've learned from my last rebuild a few little bits that I didn't do, that I wish I had have done. Nothing major, just things like I painted the block before I took it to the machine shop like a total rookie. So I'm not going to do that again. All these little lines and stuff, I'm going to replace every single little vacuum line, like you can see that's degraded hectically. So because this ute was owned by mine for 160,000 Ks about 4 years, it was only owned for about 4 years, 2008 to 2011. I got the service book somewhere here. So it actually has a service record up until about 211,000 Ks. Up 160,000 of those were through a mining company. So yeah, we're laughing. So this is a preamble ramble about the rebuild. Next step is going to be actually rebuilding it. So it's going to be exciting, guys. Stick around if you want to see the rebuild on this 4JJ1, every single step. It's much like my other rebuild. I'm not teaching you how to do it. I'm showing you exactly what I've done. You're responsible for your own actions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain it the best of my ability, and I'm probably going to make mistakes. So if I make mistakes, let me know, and hopefully it's before I've finished and before it's too late to reverse. But I've got a pretty good idea of how I'm going to tackle it. Yeah, stick around. This is part 1, which isn't even a part. This is just basically a rundown of where I'm at, what I've done. Career's gone, tray, back burner. Still coming, still very much excited about the tray. Even more so now because it's actually going on a ute that I've wanted forever. The plywood ute. And it's going to be great. Yee-hoo! Cheers, guys.